That music kicked in a little bit too quick. Someone didn't start it from the beginning. Oh well. Hello, everyone. Welcome into episode 23 of Pariahs. Ta-da! In fact, rather than hoisting that one, the Pirate's Grog returns. Oh, dear me. Well, what a start to the show. I'm just going to rattle these off quick. I say quick. Durs, congrats on claiming the first, and thank you for those 84 years, 48 month resub. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Chaos with Honey Badger, 100 biddies. Thank you kindly. Appreciate it. Lucius came in with a 63-month resub, along with Callie with a 56-month, both of them arguing over memes. Who knows? Rayvon, thank you for your 18 months. I always have a dapper day, buddy. Always. And Dobby Lover Smo, thank you for the follow last week. I didn't get a chance to say that on stream, but welcome in. Welcome in. Absolute lunatic / hero for binge watching the show. It's quite a lot of content. The last time we checked, I think it was literally 14 days straight worth of videos for everything that we've done, including Chronicles. And I know in here somewhere, Just Smith resubbed, but it didn't come up on my thing. So Just Smith, if you're lurking, buddy, I've called you out. Thank you. Apart from that, Sneeze, hello, darling. How are you all? Am I missing anybody? I am. Solid 10 D&D. Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. So yeah, with that, we'll bring the players in. My hypothesis was correct. I'm going to take someone out of the equation momentarily.
Somebody's been a sleepy boy.
Yes, someone stayed up too late last night playing a certain game by the looks of it.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sure at some point we may get an appearance, but who knows? Yeah, with that said, welcome in everyone to episode 23. Cypher. Spiel, if you'd be so kind.
First of all, I want to point out that there's no heroes in Novostoria, so Hareo is what it shall be from now on. Need a Hareo or emote.
Made me think of Oreos, and now I want Oreos.
Oh.
Oreo. All right. So last week we caught up with Teresa, as she was missing the week before.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hang on.
What?
While Zericon enters chat. Hello, buddy. Welcome in. Sorry, do continue.
Let him in here. Sorry, I got fucking waylaid by Zericon, didn't I? Son of a bitch. Every fucking time.
I wasn't missing. I knew exactly where I was.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, we caught up with what Reza was up to, and she was off being a people person. After, well, first of all, she asked Garrett for all of the petty cash, and then she realized that wasn't feasible even in the slightest. Even with the bag of holding, that wasn't feasible. There's way too much copper. Way too much copper. So much so that if Garrett wanted a copper statue of himself made, he could very well do that. Just melt it down and make himself a statue of himself in copper. But out and about, she was out and about with a finger on the pulse and the lay of the land, seeing how the people were after, not saying the gang did something horrific, but something horrific happened in the city that, affects the populace. Nothing to do with us, but it happened. Um, yeah, rumors abound of why and what happened and what for. Mainly spurred on by suspicious town criers that fucking showed up out of nowhere with their own personal bodyguards who are suspiciously dressed like certain other guards that we've met. They're gonna need to fuck off.
Suspicious, that.
How suspicious?
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Whilst you're giving the spiel, I'm going to go and grab some more grog because I realised I poured myself a paltry amount. Jero, I'll be back for you in a minute. Carry on, Cypher, I can still hear.
Oh, okay. Fucking all of the weirdos coming out today. It's crazy. Yeah. Where was I? I got fucking distracted again. Yeah. So suspicious people, I suppose. And rumors abound. So Reza saw about trying to alleviate this problem and calm people. So she first of all, she got a hobo for the front door because that's what you do, right? When you're a bespoke, artisanal slum pub for the higher class.
You need a bespoke artisanal
beggar for the front door.
Homeless beggar for the front door, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably as richer than half the people that work in the city right now. What is it, 12 copper a day? He's rolling in it.
He's
rolling in
like...
it.
15.
15? Fucking... That's a silver and a half, isn't it? No, it's 100 copper. Still, it might as well be gold. Man's going to own a mansion and then just dress in rags and come to work and fuck off again.
Mr. Stone is well compensated.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, she also wanted to spread the word that there was jobs for people because, you know, if the people are working, then they're not thinking. And if they've got money and food in their bellies, then they're not complaining as much. It's Nova Stoya. It's still grim.
Wow.
And last but not least, how to quash a rumor? Start a fucking new rumor is what you do. Best place to do it? Around some chatty merchants, apparently dressed as a fucking little old lady. That's how it's done.
Can I just say that there seems to be a recurring theme of old ladies as disguises from this party. Two members in particular.
I was a beggar lady of indeterminate age.
Okay.
Wasn't I forced?
No, you were given a name. Nobody said nothing about you being an old lady. You're the one that came up with your disguise, so fucking don't put Gertrude Bucket on us, right?
Jump's final form.
Yeah, Gertrude Bucket.
I mean, I would not be surprised. You just gave Solution that idea, damn it.
Yes.
Yeah.
A look into the future is what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, she spread rumors. And had some probably shitty soup. Before coming back. And then it was off to the Sanguine Academy. And Vanya. Why can't you make anything easy, Vanya? Could have just read a book, learned a hair spell, and it'd been gravy.
In fact, shall we get Vanya to recap this part? Because I think I'd like to understand the thought
Yes,
process.
justify yourself, Vanya.
I'd like to know the thought process behind what happened last week, Vanya. So what did you do?
Well, in her defense, before I even talk about that, before I go into it and get judgment from all of you, is you have to be good at something, you have to practice it. I mean, it just doesn't come naturally to everyone that you're going to cast a spell and then it's going to work.
Yeah.
So with that, that's exactly what she did. She needed to find some test subjects to practice this spell that she was learning on, and it happened to be a pack of dire wolves that she bought, and gave them the haste spell. And they may have not been tame at all. And she brought him back to the folly because she doesn't believe in waste. They could be useful.
So not rats, not cute little bunnies, or a small animal you can test it on. Full-grown adult direwolves.
I think she missed out the part where there were 6 of them. Also.
Yeah, I mean,
what happened to the 6th one?
Well, it didn't make it. Because somebody had to establish I can't talk today. Establish themselves as the dominant pack leader. And it didn't make it, but that wasn't at the hand of Vanya, unless you want to say that it was, because she released them all in the same area.
I've got a question before we continue.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out? All right, so with
for reals already.
With pack of direwolves, or at least 5 in tow, you brought them back to the folly. Let's snap this off. Carry on.
Oh, and like always, because Vanya never gets to keep anything that she wants, she has to do everything in secret and not keep it within the folly. Garrett wouldn't allow her to keep her direwolves. And then Reza was trying to steal one of them because Vanya just can't have anything to herself. She's not bitter at all.
Not at all.
More like Vanya makes poor choices.
Questionable life decisions.
On the upside, you're probably the talk of the town. Everybody see that fucking floating fucking pack of wolves? No?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
I did float them through the city, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
You weren't carrying the cages, were you?
So,
but can we also point out, sorry, Solution,
no, go
that
on.
even though Vanya may not make appropriate life choices that causes people headaches, but a lot of things have worked out into the group's favor because of her extracurricular activities.
Oh, I'm not saying that your eccentrics are a downside by any means. It's been a joy. Just wanted to understand the rationale behind it, because normally I'm like, but go ahead. Oh no, I appreciate that. Thank you. It was fun. So, with the direwolves back at the folly and then booted out to run protection for the lumber mill, Cypher, is anything else that happened?
I mean, he turns up as if on cue, because after that, it was Dorian's turn to do some stuff. Morning, Dorian.
Oh, morning, Dorian. Let me add you back in. How are we?
Hello. Been I don't know, interesting morning.
It's all good, man.
Things not one to work.
It's all good.
So Dorian was finishing off his hostile takeover of his family by filing the paperwork, because every good villain needs to do the paperwork, otherwise it doesn't stick. You know what I mean? So first to the Mitchards Guild he went, just to be like, yep, look, it's all signed and sealed, it's all official, it's all mine. And they were like, yep, looks that way. And then it was off back home to see if everything had been cleared up. Not quite yet, as there was an investigator from the court there, making himself quite at home. But a Dorian, being
The character
ever,
that he is.
yeah, ever the what's the term? Fuck. A hostess.
Hostess. Sure.
Yeah.
Schmoozer.
Schmoozer, that's
Schmoozer.
good,
I like that one.
Yeah, he allowed him to stay for as long as was necessary. So yeah, that was very, all very above board and totally not shady at all.
Which from there, I think we brought it back to the folly where a brief discussion was had about peering into the dreams of you all, or at least something along those lines.
Yeah, it was a little catch up, and then Garrett brought up the dream crystals. And it was all going well until we were rudely interrupted by the screaming of one of our own.
Well, with that said then, shall we pick it up at that moment?
Yeah, sure.
In the depths below the Baron's folly, in the shadowed circle, the fighting pit, the money maker, behind the bar, a relatively young individual, 22-year-old Alistair, is pointing a shaky finger at the door to the corridors of the Undercroft. Face pale, jaw dropped, with a There stood in the doorway, wide open, is the tattered, not so much tattered, but dusty, robed, gaunt, skeletal features of the coroner, with his brows dried against his skull, the arch slightly questioningly as he looks at the screaming man and then looks into the room.
This is... What is this? Huh?
He begins to shuffle in with Alistair going... He looks towards you, Garrett, and the rest of the party. There's a skeleton! Skeleton, man!
Alistair, calm down. You're being hysterical.
He takes a deep breath, nods, composes himself. Apologies about that. It's not... He looks over at the coroner. The clientele are interesting, but typically not that interesting.
Yes. I'll deal with that, Garrett. You see to Alistair before he passes out.
Get yourself a drink, Alistair.
Um,
Put your head between your knees and breathe deeply.
Alistair just takes a deep inhale of breath again, nods. Yes, of course, I'll... apologies, boss. I will... I don't usually lose composure over, again, some of the interesting clients that we've seen. And at this, he's moved to the edge of the bar counter and is trying not to look at the coroner as the coroner slowly walks in, glancing around the interior of the shadowed circle.
What is this place? A bar?
We've spoke about this. Yes, the bar. You've been here before. It's a public place. What did we say about disguises or guises?
Oh.
In public areas.
Alistair's already tucked down, head between his knees, breathing, before collecting himself and grabbing a drink, but the coroner's starting to wander around the shadow circle with a nod. Seems to be inspecting everything.
Yes, this is the place of public use. A moment.
The coroner raises a hand briefly and casts Disguise Self. When I find...
I see solutions crawling through his fucking spell list. What spells he got? Yeah.
You don't need to worry about what spells the coroner has access to. I know it's on here somewhere. It's probably in the D's part. Let's...
The question you should be asking yourself is, what spells hasn't the coroner got?
The coroner quickly waves a hand, and the Disguise Self spell kicks in. Annoyingly, at least for you, it seems to be his clothes and not his actual look. The clothes change from the dusty black robes that he wore before to now one that seems to be more regal. Yellows, golds, and hints of red. As he looks towards you, Cypher, and the edges of his dried mouth begin to creak upwards in what you assume to be a grin.
There. Upmarket clothing for this establishment.
You might want to put some flesh on too. Just saying.
Vanya, do you have a mirror?
I do.
Would you like to show the coroner's face?
He's not going to touch my mirror, is he?
No.
Okay. So she pulls it out.
With you stood in front of the coroner with this handheld mirror, you all hear the door of the Undercroft open again. Falco pops his head in, surveys the scene, sees this yellow-robed skeletal figure stood next to Cypher, with Vanya holding a mirror up. Alistair with his head between his knees at the side of the counter. Reza, Garrett, Dorian, what are you three up to?
I'm watching to make sure Alistair doesn't pass out.
So he sees you with a hand on Alistair or close by. Reza?
She's just kind of sitting there at their booth with Munchie in her lap, just kind of like suppressing a giggle.
Dorian, what are you
Dorian's
up to?
just sitting at the bar and just if Falco comes in and he hears the door, he'll look over. He'll give him a brief wave, just to. But he's letting them deal with that Warner.
He looks at you, Dorian. Falco just then casts another glance around the room. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Fuck that. I know it can. And no. And he just slowly starts to move back, closing the door with his eye just at the crack of the door as it's closing, watching into the room before eventually the door comes to a close. With that said, though, and the mirror held up to the coroner, he begins to nod.
An idea. Yes, flesh.
And with that, and Disguise Self being cast once again, you begin to see the flesh rapidly grow over the coroner's features. Twist, morph, mutate before eventually a older looking gentleman is left stood in the room. A long beard that's squared off at the end, multiple gold parts embedded within, and on top a black and gold fez. He looks around the room.
Is this better?
Is that what you looked like before?
If memory serves, then I believe so. Yes.
Not bad.
I have one last thing that would help. Lift your shirt up, please.
He unbuttons the robe at the sides and opens the robe to reveal underneath there is still no flesh there. He's just disguised himself from his hands and his head. As he opens the robe, you just see the skeletal remains of the lich beneath.
Like this, yes.
Well, at least there's surface area for this, and she just starts just dousing him with the perfume.
You see the coroner then just look up and start going,
No, I don't like the taste of that.
You don't... Cypher, I just... You don't drink it. It's... so you smell better? People will be more prone to approach you if you smell... Oh, we didn't want people approached.
Yes, well, I don't have the luxury of being able to smell, but taste, thanks to,
and he pats the cloak. Bear in mind, the cloak of tongs that you gave him previously has also been disguised by the spell. It no longer looks like a bunch of stitched tongs together, but now a black satin robe that flows behind him.
Floral. Yes, floral in its taste. Just do me a quick favour, if you would be so kind. Splash a little bit of that ointment on the on my cloak.
Okay, and she just douses it too.
You see the coroner go,
So, this place, there are fights to be had,
and he points towards the pit at the bottom.
There is, in betting.
Yes, just, again, this betting.
And he starts waving a hand in a circular motion for you to give him the gist of what the job is.
Well, fighters are given odds. People put money to a bet. If they win, they get money back, according to the ratio of the odds. And if they lose, well, they lose. That's why it's called gambling.
Coroner nods, reaches down into a pouch and pulls out an incredibly large gold bar.
This will suffice, yes?
Got it.
I think we can exchange that for something more manageable.
Corin just looks towards you, Garrett, as you're still stood by Alistair with this quizzical expression on his face.
I have more if this is not enough.
I think you should be alright for a while.
Good, because I plan to be here for a while.
When's the next fight scheduled for?
That's down to Garrett, I believe.
Oh God. Where's that gnome?
Upon saying that, glancing around the shadowed circle, Garrett, there is a barrel at the far end, just above the pit, that seems to be shaking ever so slightly. as if someone dove into it at the last minute.
Out you come.
Are you muted?
Of course I am.
He's
Of course I am.
unmuted.
Of course I am. I was taking a sip and didn't want to slurp away. But what you would see from the top of the barrel is this blue plume start to rise as Vern pokes his head over the barrel. I was just checking to make sure that everything was he's gone. He looks around for the skeletal form of the coroner, seeing this old man, puts two and two together. Oh, I wasn't dreaming then. Yes, boss. And hoisting himself out the barrel, Vern begins to totter along the side of the pit towards you.
Vern, lovely. When's the next fight?
I believe we've got a few booked in over the coming days, boss. Something about some of the gladiators from the pit itself need another sparring match, but something about a basilisk. I wasn't sure if we could fit it in, but I just said, hey, why the hell not? It's coin. Coin's coin, right? So, yes, we've got a couple of gladiators fighting a basilisk in there tomorrow. It might be a tight fit. The night after, it's just the usual sparring. And then we've got a bit of a break for about 3 days.
Marvellous. Well, tomorrow night, my friend here has never seen the fights before. And he needs some advice about gambling. So I'd like you to take him under your wing and explain to him how it all works.
Oh, I'm sure I can do that. Yeah.
Ma-
Yeah.
Make sure has a good time, because he's a high roller.
And Vern leans in towards you, Garrett, cups the side of his mouth. How high are we talking?
And I pulled a gold bar out of my pocket.
Vern's eyes go wide. You almost see the gold bar reflected on his eyes as he begins to slowly nod. All right. Eyes. I see. He turns towards the coroner. So I am Vern Starchaser, and I will be your humble assistant in the coming days. Your name, if I may? The old man turns.
You may call me the coroner.
Vern turns towards you, Garrett, with an arched brow.
And I just give him that nod, like, just accept it.
Rez is giving him like 2 thumbs up from the booth, like, yeah, everything's great.
He just mouths back at you, Garrett. The coroner? Coroner? Really? What sort of a name? Master Coroner, of course. Come and see me tomorrow, and I will show you how to win big, show you the fights. How about we call you Coroner? You don't look, you're not really normal. Norm. Perfect. So, if I may, just due to the clientele who typically come here, if I need to address you, would Master Norm work? At this, the coroner's just looking at the pit.
Basilisk, you say? Interesting. Very interesting. In fact...
For a brief moment, the raspiness of the lich rings out before he...
Yes. Basilisk. Norm, yes, whatever, you crazy little fellow, that'll suffice. A basilisk versus a few others. Now that could be something entertaining. Ah,
And at that, the coroner turns around, ignoring everyone else, and begins to walk back towards the door to the Undercroft. And you would briefly hear mention of a tome, a quill, and notes need to be taken. As the visage of the disguised coroner at least departs. Anyone care
In
to?
1,000 years, somebody's going to find that book.
So, I saw Alistair is over there cowering in the. Any particular reason? Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I know undead, and normally most undead are typically, rah. And Vern makes a zombie pose. Or if they're skeletal, they typically rattle swords, of course. Now, when you get something like that looks to be a million years old walking, did no one think to warn us?
We did ask him to go incognito, but
He's old and his mind is frail.
yeah.
Oh, he's definitely old. I think he's older than dust.
Yes, don't say that to him, though.
Vern just nods and begins to make his way back towards the raised platform above the pit where there's a plate with a meal that he was enjoying at the time rests alongside a cup of mead. And as he makes his way up the ladder back to his chair and begins to scoff his dinner, you just hear this call out. Well, at least if he's got gold bars lying around in his pockets, I might be able to get some more out of others. So, thanks, I think.
It'll be profitable. I hope.
And with that said, you are all left to your own devices. Alistair's recovered by this point and has poured himself a pretty large shot of something strong. Skarn has kept his head down this entire time. What's the phrase? Warrior knows warrior, or more a case of there are certain things don't make eye contact with, or it will fucking ruin your day. So yeah, the game recognizes game. That's the one. So yes, for this entire encounter, Skarn was sat in the corner with his head in a book, and you heard not a peep from the Dragonborn. The bestial instinct in him knew whatever that was that just walked in the room was fucking dangerous. But yeah, with that and the bar now falling quiet, it's rest back to you all. What's the plan for the day?
Garrett,
Yes, Vanya.
I need a room.
Where?
Well, so I was thinking, if we were gonna do our special thing with all of us, that we would need a pretty big room where we could make a circle of all of us. And maybe we should do it where Elias can reach for to protect us in case something gets out of hand because we're all going to be in a circle together.
So anywhere in the Undercroft, then.
Yes, yeah. And I thought maybe you might know of a room that we should use over other rooms for safety.
Well, we have the living quarters with all of the beds. Probably there.
Okay.
We can do some rearranging.
Yes, yeah, because I'm gonna need them kind of all in a circle, and where we're kind of close, so that I can touch multiple of you at one time.
Why'd you have to say it like that?
It's gonna require some physical touch from me. Is that better?
No.
No.
Well, you need to be within arm's reach. Hands.
That wasn't so hard now, was it?
But do
What
you get
else?
what I'm saying?
What else do you need?
Oh, I need some potions.
What for?
I need some potions to help you all enter a deep sleep, because I really don't think you're going to be able to do it on your own when we're all laying together in the same room.
Reza just sighs heavily.
Now, I don't want to be that person, but 2 of our number don't actually sleep.
Well,
That's how we know they're dead.
as long as they
Oh my
can
lord.
It's
reach
really
kind of a
frustrating.
meditative state. Is there anything special that you all need to kind of reach that, you know?
No, with enough time and practice, I can render myself unconscious in a meditative state. Why?
And even with me touching you?
As long as you're not weird about it.
Well, I don't know exactly what you mean by weird, but you know, you'll figure it out whenever time comes. But is there anything that you need to, just in the event that it is a little distracting and, as you would say, weird, to get you to where you need to go?
As long as it's comfortable. I'm not sure if a potion would help, but we could try.
I mean, I will allow you to put your head on a pillow.
I could go for some Court Reserve Bloodshot to help me relax.
We have that here, don't we? I don't need to go
Yeah, I'm
source any of
just.
that.
No, you don't. I'm just saying that. Never mind.
Does it need to be constantly flowing into you?
No.
Depends. How long is this going to take?
This could take quite a while. That's why I'm saying, you know, maybe we hook her up to a feed of it. Maybe I could get a barrel or
A barrel.
slow
You know
drip.
how expensive a barrel would be.
I mean, do you want this to go successful? I thought
Just
You
a
had-
bottle. A bottle will do. Thank you all
I'm
for your consent.
joking anyway. I'm the only person in the city that can make it.
oh,
Casual flex.
Good job.
Yeah.
Now, do you need anything else for this ritual? Any tips or tricks from your master before we begin?
I mean, if it makes you all feel comfortable, I can go speak to her to see if I'm not missing anything. But you all should go find your, what would you call it? Personal items that will make you remember what you're wanting to find hope in.
Sure. Are we doing this now, or do I have time to run some errands?
Oh, you have time to run some errands. Because
Wonderful.
I guess I need to go talk to someone to make you all feel at ease. And then I need to go get some potions for the rest of us that aren't special like you two.
Where are you getting your potions? Coin flow, or?
I've never gotten these potions before, so I'm not really certain where I should. Does anybody have any ideas? I was thinking, if not, I could always. Kind of a long trek to go back to the academy, because they would probably have something there. But I'm sure there's got to be something close.
Didn't you say that they had teleporters that you could get there?
Yeah, but I have to go. Like, is there not anything closer?
No. I was going to the Magister District.
Well, I can go with you as long as we can stop by. I've got to stop along the way. Can I go with you?
Sure.
Vanya, roll me a quick insight check. The teleportation circles in the district, in the watchtowers along the gates, aren't just two-way. They don't just go to the academy. You have permission to use them. Which kind of means you, in theory, could go to any watch location, use the teleportation rings to another watchtower in another district.
And could I bring Cypher through those, since we're not technically going into the academy portal that would trigger
Who
his
knows?
demise?
Maybe. Maybe not. You have to find out. But
All
that's
right,
one
well,
option.
She'll bring this up to Cypher. We could get to places faster if you're willing to experiment.
What do you mean?
You know those portals that I was talking about the other day?
Cypher perks up. Yeah. Oh, yes, yes. I'd very much like to see them.
Yes, they don't just go to the academy. We can use the portals to go to other gatehouse portals. Or guardhouse portals.
Interesting.
Do you want to maybe give it a try as we venture on to our shopping spree?
Sure, why not?
Well, don't sound excited about it. I don't offer anybody a ride through the portal with me.
This'll work, yes?
Well, I mean, it worked for me.
Good enough. It's not as if you can kill me.
Well, I haven't ever tried, so I don't know if I can or not.
That's how I know you're dead.
I can kill him.
Anybody else?
You just hear the rustle in the corner.
I could probably also kill him.
Skarn looks up from the book, looks at you, Cypher, offers this wide toothy grin, and then goes back to the book.
Well, that went awry. Anybody else want to come with us for an experiment?
Not particularly, no. You let us know how that goes.
Yes, yes. Let us know how it goes. Good luck.
Wonderful.
So, with that, Vanya, Cypher, you begin to step out through the exit of the Shadowed Circle bar up into Market Row and begin to make your way towards the nearest gate. Which, I should know this off by heart by now, but I don't, would be the Carnelian Gate.
Carnelian, yeah. Although, saying that, the Obsidian Gates, it's 6 and 2/3, really.
It is. But now that I've said it, as the crow
Carnelian
flies,
it is.
Carnelian it is. You make your way out of the secret entrance, the storefront used as the cover for the Shadowed Circle bar out into Market Row. Weaving through the streets, the crowds of merchants and other hawkers, you eventually reach. Have I got rid of my gatehouse scene?
Is this amateur hour?
It must be. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's amateur hour. In that case, we'll just go to Market Row. When I give you some vision. Definitely is amateur hour. Boop. There we go. Oh, it's all gonna rye, folks. It's all gonna rye. There we go. Okay, so making your way through Market Row, through the various hawkers, vendors, stalls, you eventually reach the giant gate that leads from Market Row into Coinflow District. Here, Vanya, you approach the guards, and in their usual brusque attitude, without even looking at you, just hear a
Hermit, passers, fuck do you want?
Seffer just raises his eyebrow and opens up because he's like to blend in amongst the peasant. He's got a shitty cloak over, and he just undoes the clasp, takes off his shitty cloak, and his pendant for the core is just clearly visible.
The guard sees this action, and you get the impression that behind the helm he probably just went pale. There's a good chance he almost shit himself as he begins to rise up from the stool he was sat on, offers a crisp salute.
Apologies, I was unaware that new to the gatehouse, my lord. May I inquire as to your business in the slums today? Are you wishing to pass through the Coinflow?
Use of the gatehouse portal. Vanya?
Yes. That is where we are headed.
Gatehouse portals only typically used for those of the Sanguine Academy, my lord. I apologize.
She shows him her pen.
And at that, he just crumples.
Apologies. Allow me to show you the way.
Yes. Just don't blame a jester for acting like a jester. Ask yourself why you keep going to the show.
With his head...
Man, you don't tease the boy.
With his head low, he escorts you into the gatehouse. You would see several other wardens. Now, typically, wardens are indistinguishable from one another, but you would certainly get the impression that some of the other wardens are having a absolute riot, a chuckle at this guy's expense. They know who you were. And as you're making your way towards the gatehouse, you get the impression that they basically put the new guy up to up to vetting. Yeah, absolutely, of course. But with that said, though, you're escorted into the warden's guardhouse that's attached to the Carnelian Gate. You make your way past what appears to be an office for the guard captain on duty, along with a small bunkhouse, and at the far end of a long corridor built into the actual walls itself, there is a giant, roughly 8-foot tall metal door. Taking the key off of a ring on the side, the door is unlocked by the guards, swung open with heavy, loud creaking of its hinges, which reveals a stairwell down to what appears to be a smaller sub-basement. A blue glow cast from the bottom, and as you begin to descend the stairwell, there is a blue teleportation ring that has been etched onto the cobbles in this square room. The warden, as he pushes the door open and motions a hand to allow you in.
Apologies, my lord, my lady, for just trying my best to first deployment to the slum gatehouses.
And he again straightens his back.
Your vigilance is commendable. But be aware, things outside the walls will become more fluid, shall we say. Just keep that in mind in the future.
As you say, my lord, as you say, I will try and keep a more open mind.
Offers a salute once again before you both begin to descend the stairwell down into the teleportation chamber, and you would hear the sound of the heavy iron door closing behind you, the sound of a key turning to lock it. But as you begin to descend the stairwell, you would notice that there is a key on your side.
To let yourself out.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Vanya, this is something you would know, that once the teleportation rings are used, typically you unlock it yourself and then just hand the key to one of the wardens on duty and tell them to close it up. It's their responsibility at the end of the day to make sure that the teleportation rings in the city are not used by those who aren't what's the word I'm looking for? For those who aren't authorized. That's the one. So, with that said, Vanya, you are the lead in this. You step into the chamber, the large blue glowing ring in the center. You step forth, and what's the destination?
Well, we'll go to the nearest guardhouse that is by the magistrate district, where Cypher was wanting to go. But before they step in to do that, she's gonna turn to him and say, "How are you feeling? Do you feel Do you feel different?
Cypher's just, he's not even listening. He's already studying the magic circle on the floor. He's scratching his chin. He's like,
I mean, I can't check.
interesting.
Okay.
It's a natural 20.
As a natural 20. Anything in particular you wish to know, Cypher, about the teleportation circles?
What's power in it?
You look behind at the back wall and notice that there is a familiar blue crystal that's contained within a small magical field on a pedestal.
Interesting.
They are using what the court believe to be magical crystals as power sources for the circles. This one's quite a large one compared to what you've seen in the past, what's typically used in either lanterns or the blood-forged automatons you've seen in the higher districts. But you understand what these things are.
Okay. Last question. Could I replicate it with enough time?
With enough time, potentially yes. But acquiring a large soul crystal such as that would be the awkward part.
The issue.
Correct.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you wish to try and crystallize a few hundred, a few thousand souls, but, I mean...
No, we saw how that one last time. I'm blacklisted.
Yes.
Cypher, you seem lost in thought.
Oh. I was just studying the spell. It's quite simple. Teleportation magic powered by this. Interesting.
Do you have one?
A teleportation spell?
No, you said powered by this. Do you have something that powers it?
Oh, it was a soul crystal, Vanya. You know those crystallized souls? Think that, only bigger and condensed.
Oh, and you can do that.
No, probably not.
So you need this one.
No, not that one particularly, but...
Oh, you don't like that one?
I don't think the court's going to let me take a crystal of this magnitude just willy-nilly.
Well, maybe not give it to you. I could always go back to the academy and see if... Oh, they probably don't have any there, but, you know,
no,
they do
but
keep...
if they have any research on them...
Yes, I could get research, but, you know, these guardhouses are very restrictive.
And they all have these?
I believe I've seen in the last one that I went through.
Interesting. Well, let's see it in action. And Cypher takes Vanya's hand. I don't want to get lost.
Oh, I was gonna recommend maybe you hold on to me in the event that you need me for...
Yes, I don't want to be teleported into oblivion while you go where you're supposed to be. That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of strong, so maybe hold my other hand too so that I can get a good grip on you.
Sure.
We should probably, you know, time this and walk into it together. Not just like me go and then you go. Like we need to like step together in unison.
Sure. Come on then.
On like
Left
are we
foot
counting
forward,
down
yes.
from 3? No, like is it like
What,
3,
we're
2,
going on
we go
3?
1? Or wait,
On one.
we're
on
going
one.
on.
Left foot forward, yes?
Wait, are we counting down from 3? Are we going 1, 2, and then on
No,
3?
No, 3, 2, 1, step. No, 3, 2, and on 1, we step forward, left foot, yes?
Left foot, and then immediately go with the right foot.
Unless you have another foot, yes.
Well, I just didn't want you to feel delayed with the right foot, that you know that it should have immediately
Vanya,
come
I know how to
after the
walk.
left foot. Okay, are you going to count or am I going to count? Are we going to count together? Let's count together.
Okay, and
sake.
on 3,
2.
1.
You both step onto the teleportation ring. First foot goes on, followed shortly by second foot. It's not immediate. There is a brief hum from the circle before. Vanya, what destination are you thinking?
What would be the closest guardhouse to the district that we're trying to go to?
God, you're gonna ask for a name now. Let's go for.
Probably this one, because we've
It
been
would
through
be.
it, right?
Yeah. I can't remember the name, but for the sake of it, you conjure an image of the gates you passed through on your original trip towards the Magister District. As the circle kicks in, both of your eyes are filled with initially a bluish light, then white, and then it feels almost like you're both pulled from head to feet vertically. The Arcanum Gate. Excellent. In that case, then, let's pop over to here, and the gate you are thinking of is it was actually this one here. So this will
yeah, because
be
we went straight down the drag, didn't we?
now known as, and I copy Topaz Gate, paste a new map pin. The Arcanum Gate. And we'll give that the tower icon. Boom. Thank you, Ravon. Excellent. So, with a blinding flash in your eyes, the sensation of you being pulled from top to bottom vertically only lasts a brief split second before your vision swims, shifts, and what was once a dark, squared off basement now changes to something a little more gilded. Instead of it being stone walls with a circle in the middle, it's now gold brass archways. Several sconces of torches line the walls, illuminating the area. Welcome to the Magister District. And with that, though, I'm going to say, since it's been an hour and 15, shall we call it a quick BRB there?
Sure.
A quick refill for the drinks, because I am out of both alcohol and soft drink. Cheers, dudes. Thank you. I'm also going to take this brief opportunity to find what I'm actually looking for. This mind of mine. Welcome in, buddy. Thank you very much for the gifted sub to the community. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Devious Hearts, Mirror, and scroll up again. Yeah, baptized. Good to see you all again. How are you? Sorry it took so long to get round to Again, RP, D&D, it takes a while for me to respond to chat, but thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Why is the rum gone? It's always gone, Gerald, because we drink it. But yeah, with that, I'm going to go and refill the drinks. I will be but a moment.
Back.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
I too have returned.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Oh, Vanya and Cypher date, eh?
Don't know.
What a floozy. Jacqueline's going to be mortified. All right.
See, you don't need a pulse to have game.
What was that, Dorian?
So just had to make it weird.
All right. So, with the visage changing, the teleportation circle of the Magister District now in plain view, but this time, unlike the Carnelian Gate, stood by the door is a single figure. Hood up, mask concealing their face, black armor beneath the cloak. The sight of one of the Magister Wardens comes into view. As your vision begins to clear from the light show of the teleportation circle, he bows his head in greeting.
Vanya is first going to look around and see that Cypher's still with her and is intact. And she's just going to say, "Oh, Cypher, drinking this glorious day because you are still here with me."
Wonderful. You didn't kill us both.
Well, I knew I would be fine.
Shall we?
Yes, we shall. And she just continues on ignoring the guard.
He seems fine with this without saying a word. As you begin to approach the stairwell, he heads up first, takes the key from close by to the door, unlocks it, opens it, and stands with his back to the wall, also offering a respectful bow of the head, allowing you full and unhindered access into the Magistrate District.
Okay, come along then. Let's find you a potion shop, shall we?
Vanya follows along.
All right. Stepping out, you're met with a familiar corridor, similar to the gatehouse in Coinflow Market Row. That leads to a door that opens up into the Magistrate District. Here, stepping in, the immediate sense that would hit you would just be the metallic taste in the air as the tall buildings overhead begin to pump out a rather large amount of steam. But again, this is part of the city that's almost alien to the rest. Multiple people walk with either mechanical contraptions on their legs or arms. The attire here is much more flamboyant than the rest of the city. You'll see dresses that are easily 5-6 feet wide. Suits that seem to be made from exotic creatures. Pelts that are yellow with black spots. There wouldn't be any merchants on street corners that you're used to. Here you would see more of advertisers, of criers, people who seem to shout what goods they're selling, trying to bring people into the glass-fronted storefronts here in Magistrate District. Winding through the open square, the Magistrate District, before peeling off to the more mercantile quarter, you begin to glance around, trying to find some form of potion shop, by the sounds of it. It doesn't take too long to find a sign hanging from one of the storefronts that's brass, basically a brass plaque hanging on chain with what looks to be a singular vial as a symbol, and beneath it, alchemist. Not the most interesting nor flamboyant of marketing, but obvious.
Well, shall we? This seems to be an alchemist's.
Yes, I have a good feeling about this one. It seems legit.
Sure.
Stepping through the threshold into this alchemist store, you're immediately hit with the pungent smell of herbs, of the sound of bubbling from a room at the back. The counter seems to face the door and has a wide array of vials and bottles, various potions displayed on it. On the sides of the stores, the same again, bookshelves that have been hastily converted into potion racks. Now, granted, these aren't just haphazard bookshelves. These things seem to be dragged out of a noble's manor, brass etchings cover the entire surfaces. And it's there you see, sat behind the counter, an older gentleman, one eye lazily looking off to the side, but with this wide grin on his face as you step in. Welcome to Fosselgang's alchemist store. Yes. The crooked finger points out towards you from the greenish blue robe. Granted, it is a finger. It is one finger on a hand. There are no other fingers, no thumb on his right hand as he points it towards you with this big grin. Welcome, welcome. Potions, ailments, odds and ends for use in alchemy. You have come to the right place. What can I do? What do you want? What do you need? I have it all. He's looking at you, Cypher, as he says this.
My friend here would like some sleeping tinctures.
Boring! Boring! What you need is something to completely knock out. Yes, poisons, venoms from creatures far beyond. Come.
Now, wait. Now, I don't want to harm these individuals. I just want them to be, I think knocked out is a good word for an extended period of time. But I want them to be able to regain consciousness at some point. And then also, in the event, do you have anything that would work on non-human creatures that may have trouble entering the sleep realm, per se?
Those of the court, by any chance? Yes, of course I do. I mean, where do you think you are? I have clientele across the city. Maybe even some of them. Some of them from High Street.
Oh.
I'm sure.
He shuffles out from behind the counter. Here you would see he is hunched back, twisted at the lower spine, so that is almost at a 45-degree angle. One finger on one hand as he begins to trace a line down the potion shelves before it stops, and he taps it. Yes, this is the one. Yes, this is exactly what you need. Flakes of a brazen bull, the bile of a red dragon, coupled with the mushed eye stalk of a beholder, and then a few other things such as nightshade and others. This will put anything to sleep for, I dare say, 48 hours at the bare minimum.
Minimum? What's the maximum on that?
Yes, is the maximum. With their constitution can't take such a strong concoction, then yes. He just grins.
Should we, would there be any adverse effects if we diluted it?
Well, it wouldn't work then, would it? Because it's been diluted. It wouldn't do what you wanted to do.
Do you have a regular sleeping potion?
He looks at you, Vanya, looks towards Cypher, back to Vanya, and just... Yes, I suppose I do. Just fine.
But I will take that one as well, just in case.
Oh, good. Marvelous. Yes, beautiful. So, how many of the normal sleeping potions do you want?
Well, I mean, I could use some for later, because I need to study. Let's do...
Study? From the academy, are you?
4.
What else do you need then if you are from the academy? Stiff neck, looking down at books, shoulders tight, lower back pain perhaps. I have just the thing that you could take the edge off of all those long studying hours.
Puts a yellow mustard-looking vial on the counter along with the 4 sleeping potions and then this other potion, the knockout potion that's mostly black in colour. There is the odd tinge that seems to be an emissive red, like the heat of something. Perhaps the red dragon bile just boils to the top. There's a few bubbles at the top of this potion in its vial, but he puts them all on the counter. But this mustard-looking potion, he looks at you, Vanya, grins, nods.
Academy students love this. They love it. You'll love it too.
Are you just kind of throwing this in as a freebie or like a sample?
Sample? Yes, why not, of course. Also for your... I have a few other things.
He reaches under the counter,
More samples?
puts out this circular porcelain disc that has a wooden lid to it, and as he lifts it up, he scoops out this greenish ooze from the contents and then slaps it on his chin.
Beauty cream made from the internals of a grey ooze and herbs from few... Well,
He taps his nose.
can't tell you that. Trade secret.
Does she see, does anything happen to his chin?
It's covered in this greenish ooze-like substance at the minute. Roll me a perception check, Vanya.
She gonna find this is just a tourist trap?
For such a potential old gentleman, his skin is actually relatively clear. His complexion's good. Glowing, one could almost say.
Well, I do.
Every day I put this on and look. Look at me, I'm a beautiful princess, aren't I? And you could be too.
As she reaches to touch his face,
Smooth. Smooth as a baby's bum.
she's gonna look at Cypher and her eyes are gonna light up.
What are you looking at me for? I'm not buying it.
I think I want this.
Then buy it. Don't be weird about it. Do you have any embalming fluid?
How much do you need? I typically sell it by the barrels.
How about 10 barrels, and I'll write down the address for it to be delivered to.
Done. Anything else you'd require?
Well, I will take some of this cream. How many jars of this cream do you have? Do you just put it on your face, or can you rub it all over your body?
Oh, you rub it. Rub it wherever you want to be supple. Be youthful. Oh, see, many see ooze as a dissolving creature, you know, those that suck up nutrients and destroy, but no, processed in the right way, they do the opposite. They pump moisture out. Also good if you wish to decompose something rapidly. Rather than them drying up into little husks, you can smear it on the corpse and in no time at all it decomposes. Beautiful, marvelous stuff.
If done different ways, I would like the stuff that you put on your skin. And can we get like a barrel of that?
Done, sold, yes, of course you can.
All right. Well, it'll go to the same address as can you mark that barrel so that we understand that versus the embalming fluids, please?
Sure. Why not? I will put a big red cross on the putrefaction oozes. Sorry, did I say beautification? I meant beautification.
But I would like a little jar to go ahead and carry with me at this moment.
This one's yours. He slides the little porcelain container over the counter towards you.
Vanya gets a little giddy.
So, 10 barrels of the embalming fluid, a barrel of the beautification liqueur, one of the high-strength knockout potions, 4 sleep potions, anything else you require.
Cypher, do you think I need to maybe not get the standard sleep potions and get the extra strength ones? I'm starting to second guess myself.
Just get the standard for now. Don't let him upsell you. I can see him. He's a crafty on this one.
But just the way that he said, like, it's extra strength.
Why sleep when you can just
Die. Well.
Yes, Vanya, oblivion isn't for everyone. Especially not for us.
Okay, good point. And she's going to say, that'll be all. And she's going to go ahead and take some of the cream and start, like, massaging it into her cheeks.
Good. So, carry the one, brings us, it would be 80 gold coins, please.
Cypher, do you have that?
Yes, unlike some, I was going to go shopping today, so I prepared. If you're nice to Garrett and just ask, he gives you stuff.
I'm saving my gold for my other ventures.
1 gold per barrel bombing fluid, 50 silver times 2, that's 4, 2 gold for the potions, copper, sorry, did I say copper? I meant silver for the embalming, no, it's not, beautification, and dragons, that's, yeah, 80 gold seems fair.
How's 40?
He takes the single knockout potion off the counter and nods. This thing alone's worth about 60 to 70. It's got the bile of a red dragon, and do you know how hard it is to find red dragons these days?
I have one that lives in my basement.
Roll me a persuasion check. Oh my god. What the fuck? He tilts his head. You're lucky. Would you perhaps want to sell it by chance? I could trade you for a Medusa that I milk on a regular occasion.
No, just the products, but I'm interested in what you get off a Medusa.
And how you milk it.
He grins, this giant shit-eating grin, and taps his nose. Trade secrets.
With his one finger.
With his one finger on the hand, absolutely.
Would Vanya note, like, him missing his fingers? Is he, like... Well, no, because it's only the primary finger. It wouldn't be, like, him selling those for witches' fingers or anything like that, right?
Roll me a investigation check, Vanya. with that, no, it's not so much that he's been selling his fingers. It's all you would kind of glance as he waves his finger around is that it seems to be through perhaps experimentation, where his alchemy's gone wrong, perhaps caused an explosion. You would see that the stumps that remain have healed over, but it doesn't seem to be a clean cut, like they've been cut off. More like that they've been perhaps blown off. Anything else that you wish to buy from my alchemy emporium? Perhaps I can interest you in... He takes this glowing red liquid, holds it up high with his one hand, the single finger on the other on the top of the bottle, holding it next to his face.
He's not going to try and sell us Bloodshot, is he?
Yeah, what is that?
This, well, a potent liqueur. Look, it swirls this familiar-looking vial. As from
Got gold flakes in it.
from the bottom, you would see that it starts to swirl and coalesce up. Golden flakes. A drink that even the court are interested in. Normally for them 20 gold, but for you, this one bottle, I will give it you for 10.
I'm sure it's your own recipe, is it?
He almost looks taken aback. Well, of course. No others within this here district can supply such a finely distilled alcoholic spirit. In fact, this could even be used in the creation of potions. Yes, the purity of this is, well, divine.
Cypher rolls his one eye and goes, peers the man. He's like, "We're leaving."
Vanya kind of looks at like the potions that she's carrying out and is just wondering, like, you know, the legitimacy of these now because of that exchange.
Welcome to roll me an investigation check if you want. Stepping out of the store into the lantern-lit streets of the Magistrate District, you fish out one of the bottles and begin to look over it. And in spite of him being eccentric, at the least, the craftsmanship of the glass vials is very similar to what Garrett uses for the Court's Reserve. This is a high-class product, giving you the impression that anyone who sold dodgy goods in Magister District probably wouldn't be in business for very long. And compared to the other individuals you've met here in Magister District, namely Thalvia Jadeclaw of the Jadeclaw Antiquities, everyone here in this district is... being eccentric is almost a requirement for Magister District. But, yes, for all intents and purposes, the product you've bought certainly looks to be the real deal.
Well, that's all that I needed, Cypher. You ready to head back?
No, I need to stop by the Jade Claw.
Okay.
Okay. And she continues to rub this cream on her face as they're walking.
The beautification cream. With that said, then, you make your way back down the central street of the Magister District, turning off towards the second entrance on the eastern side. Down the back streets towards the Jade Claw Antiquities store. Here, as per before, you approach a small door that's almost hidden from view. And stepping in, you are met with the familiar sight of Jade Claw Antiquities. A long, almost warehouse-looking room. Odds and ends thrown, discarded on tables. And at the very far end, a desk with a green individual sat behind it in a tight, noble suit that goes up to his neck. Various jewelry sprawn across his persona. And with the sound of a bell ringing above the door, Thalvir looks up.
Ah, greetings. Once again.
Good day to you, Thalvir. How are you?
All the better. For when that bell rings, it means business.
That it does, and I was looking for something that caught my eye last time I was here. And he's going to start rifling through a collection of... Because he keeps all the shiny rings and jewelry close to him, right?
Yeah, anything that's typically shiny or opulent that catches the eye is closer to the desk. All of the other more mundane looking items are towards the edges of the room.
And he's going to go... Not that one. Not that one. Ah! Here we are. Speaking ring. And he's going to pick up this ring and then take off his ring of protection that he got. Sure. In my inventory somewhere.
Yeah, I've put the speaking ring into your inventory if you want to throw that up quick as a to tell us what it does.
And then I'll put my ring of protection up as well.
Okay.
The speaking ring. Right, wearing this ring, you gain +1 bonus to spell attack rolls and save and throw DCs. While you're tuned to the ring, the ring speaks the verbal component of the spells you cast for you. Hence, you can cast spells that have verbal components even when you're unable to perform them. Because, for instance, when you're under effect of the silence spell.
What's the ring of protection look like, Cypher?
It's like silver and gold inlay, but like it's kind of like a signet, but the signet part's shaped in the shape of a shield. With I think it's got a green gem on the top. Yeah, and like a rune in. It's engraved and inlaid on the face of the shield.
Thalvir looks at the ring of protection you've placed on his desk, picks it up, takes a monocle, slats it over his eye, and begins to glance over it.
An interesting ring. Shielded. Protective. I do not have this. What do you wish for a trade, huh?
A ring for a ring.
Any that you have your mind, eyes on by chance.
This one here, and he points to the speaking ring.
Thalvir picks up the speaking ring, a wide gold banded ring with a purple amethyst set in the center. A rune engraved on the amethyst itself as he puts that next to the ring of protection.
You care not for protection, but wish for this.
And he holds the ring of speaking, or the speaking ring up.
It appeals to my nature. Also, it goes dashingly with this robe, don't you think?
Roll me a performance check. Thalvia looks back to the rings, eyeing up the ring of protection, and doesn't really seem to notice the robe you're wearing. You just hear him briefly mutter under his breath.
None can usually see rings upon robes of such length, but a buyer for this. Yes, or a trade. Someone who has... very well.
He extends a scaled hand over the desk towards you, Cypher.
Cypher will take it and check. A trade.
If you're trading rings for rings, maybe do you have a ring that a spell could be harnessed in it? Or, you know, I have a ring.
If I remember rightly, the big one that you strolled in here with...
And begins to look over a cushioned jewellery slat that has several rings on. Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Dorian trade in the ring of spell storing with...
I believe so, right?
Yes.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
So, he plucks out a silver ring from this tray that has a bluey purple gemstone set in the center. This gemstone seems to emit arcane power as he places it on his desk in front of you, Vanya.
This, a ring of spell storing.
Yes.
It is currently available. What do you have for trade?
She hands him the holdout ring that she has.
He picks the ring up, slips the monocle back on. Looks towards you, Vanya.
A ring that can turn into a dagger. No.
Shakes his head, slides your ring back over the counter towards you.
But it's a ring for a ring.
Yes, but they're not equal value, Vanya. That ring has
yeah.
2 spells already loaded into it, if I
Oh,
recall.
it does? There's already 2 spells in it? I thought it didn't have anything loaded in it just yet.
I believe a counter spell and a crown of madness.
I was unsure of the second spell, but what is currently contained is of no consequence to the trade. This could hold any spell of your desire. Where is a piece of metal that turns to a piece of metal? Well, not a fair trade.
I have a bar of soap.
Thalvia recoils back, almost looking offended.
What are you trying to say?
No, it's from where I'm from. It's very uncommon. It's a very rare commodity, one may say.
Thalvia raises his hand and casts prestidigitation.
Well, I could see why you don't need it. Well, I didn't come with anything else that I could potentially trade. I guess I could just go somewhere else to try and get this. Unless, Cypher, do you have anything of value?
Thalvia's a green dragonborn, right?
He has a green dragon heritage.
Okay.
Is the best way to put it.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. How about a chance to meet somebody truly interesting?
I have met many interesting people here in the city. How interesting?
Let's say probably more interesting than everybody that's sat currently on the court.
Thalvia arches a brow inquisitively.
May I have your permission to cast a spell? Zone of Truth.
Of course.
I hereby state that I will ask nothing of personal questions, anything that may be problematic. But think of it as insurance.
I understand. You wouldn't want to take just my word for it.
It is nothing personal, just business.
Damn it, Rayvon. So with that, Thalvia raises a hand, and emitting from him, you would feel a wave of arcane energy. A familiar wave of arcane energy. A wave that came out of Vanya once before. Anybody attempting to...
No, because if I try to fight it, he'll know it instantly, right?
Vanya? Do you wish to make a saving throw against this?
Well, yes, because this isn't supposed to be pertaining to her.
Okay. Roll me a charisma saving throw, please. Sadly, you fail. You feel the arcane magics wash over you, and whilst when you've done this in the past, you know how strong mentally someone has to be to resist a zone of truth. It seems that whatever Thalvir is, he certainly has quite the knowledge of the arcane arts, and even for someone as yourself, you are unable to resist being placed under the effects of this zone of truth as it rings out. But you would also notice that Thalvir himself willingly accepts to also be under the effects of the spell. As this magic washes over you, he offers a nod.
It is cast. So in trade for trade, I will ask a question, and in return you too are permitted as such. Are you of agreement?
Agreed.
Excellent.
Agreed.
Sleepiest, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. As that was an excellent time to raid there. I appreciate it, Sleepiest. Thank you very much, and welcome to our dark Gothic corner of Twitch. It gets a bit weird. We're currently speaking with a purveyor of arcane artifacts, or at least some of the party are. But for those, I'm not going to waffle on for too long. For those who aren't familiar with what we do here, that's the wrong command. Pariahs. Thank you, Durs. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're here running D&D 5th edition, a grim, dark, gothic fantasy that we call Pariahs. In a nutshell, we have a Fae-related party member by the name of Garrett. Vanya, who is a wizard on the road to becoming a hag. Dorian, who is a demon in all forms of the word. Teresa, our resident vampire, and last but not least, Cypher, who is a lich. This is not a happy Save the Kingdom campaign. But with that said, again, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to dive straight back into it. So, brief recap. Thalvir has cast Zone of Truth on you, Vanya, Cypher. The last words mentioned were...
So, a question for a question. A fair trade. Do you agree?
Cypher will hold out his hand.
Thalvir takes it, shakes it, and offers a single nod.
Then, my first question. This individual more powerful or more prominent than the court? Native of this city? Yes or no?
I believe so.
I don't know.
Thalvir nods.
Second question. A native of this city. Someone who I may not know. Remember, you said more powerful, more perhaps interesting than the court, but they do not sit on the court, therefore an unknown. Is this individual unknown to the wider world?
To the wider world? Yes, he's an unknown.
You don't have to answer, Vanya, if you don't want to.
Oh, I
You're
thought
no,
she
no.
was kind of forced to answer.
No,
whenever...
you're not forced. It's just if you answer, you have to give the truth. Thalvir.
Right, then she won't answer that one.
Okay, Thalvir nods.
Last question. Would there be any potential issues to either myself or this individual should we make contact? Would I, allow me to rephrase that, if I were to meet said individual, is there a chance that my life would be forfeit?
Cypher thinks about that and he goes, Not initially. He's very inquisitive, but
And grumpy.
yeah, prone to bouts of singeing violence.
Then I will say that if you would permit me to meet said individual with your guidance, your assistance, I would be happy to do so. That is my 3 questions. Now, a trade for a trade.
He extends a hand over the desk towards both of you. Obviously, if you wish to talk amongst yourselves for a moment as to what to ask him, you're welcome to. You don't have to just pose. This is not a wish spell. You don't have to post things individually.
This area. Pocket dimension or teleportation spell?
Simple pocket dimension of my own doing. In fact, not personally my own doing, but a artifact in my possession. Something I acquired a long time ago.
Something not likely to be traded, yes.
Unless you wish to trade the entire contents of this vault, then the price would be steep. Now, that is your first question. With an addition, since I'm feeling generous.
Vanya, any questions?
No, you continue. Yours are good.
What are you? Are you a dragonborn? Or
Close.
I'm not close. I've never met one of your species before.
Close, but no. I am roughly 3,500 years old. The true number evades me, but I am of the green dragon flight.
3,500.
A 3,500-year-old green dragon. Old. Old.
Then this truly will be interesting.
Maybe they do know each other.
And Cypher's doing a Vanya grin. Shit. Third question.
Raymond got a lich and a green dragon walk into a bar. Is there a bar to walk out of after? Who knows? Who knows?
Trying to think of a third question. We'll go with them. How long have you been in this city?
I would say, from my memories at least, 400-500 years, give or take maybe 10 or 20. Long before the skies darkened and the court came to be, but before that, South Castanellan provinces where those of my family reside. It was easier to move here than face the issues the Castanellan were bringing forth to those of the dragonkind. I have seen much in this city, change over the years, but neither for better nor worse, just a constant change. These upstarts in the court will last perhaps another 100, 200 years before something or somebody else comes to replace them.
Quite possible.
With a click of his fingers, the zone of truth disperses.
Oh, I was going to ask him if he was lonely.
Roll me persuasion check. You can still ask him.
Yeah, she's going to ask him if he's lonely.
When surrounded by so many treasures, no. Though perhaps there are times I do wish others of my kin would be here. Conversation, and I mean no offense when I state this, but conversation with the mortal races can be sense of deja vu.
She's
With
just
me.
going to kind of make an eye at Cypher, but not say anything.
Then you may benefit from this more than you will ever know.
I am a menial, in fact. A gift.
And
He will reach into the desk and pull out, when I find what I'm looking for. Da, 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 da. No, it's gonna be in one of these compendiums. Haha, there we go. He'll reach into his drawer and put 2 small stones on the counter.
A gift. Sending stones when you make arrangements with this individual. You can contact me.
Who
Very
takes
good.
them?
In my ring.
He just looks at you, Vanya, and shakes his head. So yeah, he keeps one of the sending stones, Cypher, but gives you the second one.
yeah, I'll take the second one.
Yeah, no. A ring that turns into a dagger is certainly not a fair trade for a ring that can store a 5th level spell.
See, this is why Vanya has brought Cypher. Well, I mean, she invited herself along with Cypher so that he can make up for everything. He's kind of like taking her on a shopping spree. Thank you, Cypher.
I'll take it and just be like, your new pen pal will be in touch.
Oh, God. A 3,500-year-old green dragon and a 5,000-year-old plus lich walk into a bar. What could go wrong?
Besties!
All right. Anything else you wish from Jade Claw while you're here?
Not for me.
No, I'm good.
Okay. You've got the speaking ring. You've sorted that out. Excellent. Cool. So, with pleasantries exchanged, you depart Jade Claw Antiquities back into the hustle and bustle of the Magister District. Anything further?
Do you want to stop anywhere on the way back?
No, not unless, you know, you all want some snacks or some treats for our, you know, future sleepover that we're having.
Sometimes, Vanya, I don't think you know me at all. Do you need some snacks and some treats?
I mean, I may, but my Reza keeps my pockets pretty full.
And we're good. Come on. I'll start to worry if I keep you out here too long.
Who will worry?
Don't worry about it.
All right. Cypher, Vanya, you begin the trek back towards the gatehouse, towards the teleportation circle, and no doubt the eventual goal of returning back to the Shadowed Circle or the Undercroft. Whilst this has been going on, Reza, Dorian, Garrett, anything that you folks have been up to in the meantime, whilst they've been out on a shopping spree?
Dorian hasn't done anything yet that day. He's unable to go back to the house for a few days because the inspector's just going to be crashing there with his people. So, he'll head to the office. He tries to do that every day. He'll head to the office, not actually do much work because there shouldn't be a lot to do. He'll check in on things.
Absolutely. Making your way from the Folly towards the administration office of Lower Streets. At this point, the vast majority of townsfolk, gangs who are acting as guards for the Folly all offer you a respectful nod. There aren't many who don't know who you are by this point, Dorian. Have you made any potential moves on hiring more staff for the administration at this point, or?
He was considering having them basically put out help wanted ads, and
Okay, yeah.
he doesn't really have he hasn't exactly made friends with a lot of the people that aren't like shop owners, etc. So it's one of the things that he has to address. But when he gets in, he's going to basically put Pip in charge of it.
this young page administrative assistant who's probably no more than 13, 14 years old at most.
Yes.
You step into the administration office towards the governor's room, and you're met by the young boy. Oh, welcome back, Governor. I've got a few... And he starts slotting paperwork onto your desk. A few individuals that I've had a look through who I think might be useful for filling in some of the positions, but... He drops the stack of paper. Bear in mind, this is easily... The amount of parchment is a foot and a half tall on this young lad's form as he puts half on the desk, half on the floor. He scrambles, picks them up, puts them back on. There may be a few people who, have come to the summons for a few from Market Row, but none from the local districts. Maybe a few from out of town, though. And he puts a few names forward towards you. That seems to be individuals from Svinstead, from Kartov, from Malmstown. Those who aren't fully aware of you or who have seen you on a daily basis. And the vast majority seem to be individuals who are either farmers or ruffians, just trying their luck.
All right, I'll give it a look. And he'll spend some time at the office going over applications and things like that, and start thinking about how to attract people who might actually be more than just street thugs.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to say with that then is have a think on who you would like as your underlings in the administration office. Come back to me with a few ideas, a few names, and we'll see about getting them rolled in to perhaps manage the district in your absence.
Sure.
But yeah, it seems that anyone from Market Row or lower streets, there aren't too many applicants from nearby. Whether that's because of the recent rumours surrounding the folly, or other actions, who knows? But it does seem that the vast majority of applicants seem to be from out of district, in more impoverished areas of Novostoya.
Understood. People who probably need jobs more too.
Absolutely.
All right. I'll have a think on it.
Okay. Anything further you wish to do, Dorian?
He's going to spend the majority of the day going over that and looking at it.
Okay.
So I would say that's him for now.
Not to worry. Reza, Garrett, anything you two wish to bring up?
Garrett's still hard at work, brewing up a storm. He's going to get the entire vampire classes drunk at this party.
Absolutely. By this point, we stated before that the Thorn Room was almost to the ceiling with barrels of bloodshot. I dare say by now it's to the point where you almost can't move.
Yep. We started moving out into the corridor now. There's like an archway built of boxes and casks of bloodshot.
More than enough to perhaps entertain a party for an evening.
Now I'm working on the stock for the inevitable sale afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if that's you pretty much just pounding away at the at the bloodshot. Last but not least, Reza, anything in particular you're up to?
Oh, yes. Reza is, she needs to run a quick errand to Coinflow to see Jacqueline.
Okay. We don't have visage. Bear with me.
I'm blind. Oh God.
Yeah, just chose the wrong coin flow scene. There we go. In fact, that's not the coin flow scene I wanted. What am I doing? Let's try that one instead. There we go. Okay, so you depart the Baron's Folly, the Shadow Circle, Lower Streets, Market Row, easily pass through the gatehouse where you would see a couple of things, Reza. One, one of the wardens seems to be relatively new. There's a group of other wardens around him giving him a hard time, and to the point where it looks like he's been given the merchants or the peasant merchants queue for the gate. Every time he seems to ask a question, he's being meticulous in going through every single detail, causing a backlog that seems to now stretch into Market Row. You pass through, nod towards some of the guards that you're familiar with, or at least who recognize you stepping through. Secondly, on the coin flow side of the gate, hoisted on chains and hooks above the gate, seem to be an oldish gentleman, followed by a young woman with blonde hair, and then 3 members of the merchant guard. All of them looking relatively worse for wear at this point, as if they've been up there for a day or so.
Oh, they're not dead yet?
Oh no, they're not dead yet.
Does she notice a family resemblance to a certain member of the party?
Roll me a perception check on anything but a crit fail. I would say that the young woman, at least, would certainly hold some resemblance.
This is where I crit fail, chat. Double ones.
Double ones. Yeah, the young woman who's suspended by the chains and hooks certainly holds a close resemblance to an individual you know.
She kind of looks at it for a moment and just kind of nods and smiles to herself before, and then as soon as she walks through the gate, she's like, "Oh, shit! I should probably see what's happened to my storefront before I go see Jacqueline."
All right. Taking a slight detour to the south, but before that, look. Welcome in, raiders. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you very much for the raid, buddy. I appreciate it. I hope your stream went well. It's good to see you again, my dude. It's been a while. What were you up to? If you don't mind me asking. Hey, Rivershammer, how are you? So with you dipping down some of the side streets towards the perimeter wall of coin flow in the direction of your storefront, the signs of combat begin to grow more and more apparent. Cobbles from the streets have been kicked up, and especially in the back alleys at least, or the back streets, that's not in full view of the public. Repairs haven't even started here yet. You would see windows smashed out, storefronts that have been just clawed apart. There are people, mostly the store owners themselves, attempting to rebuild, perhaps stack bricks or put their products into crates to protect them a little more. But upon reaching your warehouse, just remind us, Reza, what was this warehouse?
Well, it's not a warehouse. It's a storefront.
What was the storefront? Sorry.
It was just a small, kind of like tucked into the corner store where she was going to sell her stonework, odds and ends of jewelry. It was going to be beautiful.
It was, and it still could be, if not for the fact that the wooden beams supporting the windows and the glass that was once there have been completely shattered and smashed out. As you reach the storefront, Reza, and look over it, there is a large, what looks to be a gaping wound caused by something swinging around wildly that has crashed through the glass, broken the wooden struts of the window, and buckled the door frame.
She just kind of sighs, to herself.
The store's there. It's salvageable. It's just a little work may need to be done.
Yeah, she's going to make a mental note to talk to Arabetha about overseeing the reconstruction.
Pouring it off on someone else. That's the best way.
Abso-fucking-lutely. That is the management way.
It is. Well, yeah, for all intents and purposes, the store itself is structurally sound, just with the exception of the windows and the wooden storefront, the struts for the window, the frame having been shattered in the fighting with the Doctore. With that, though, it sounds like you're off to Jacqueline. Is that correct?
Yeah, she just kind of... I think first she's going to pull out a piece of parchment and put together a quick sign to hang on the door that says, "Looters punishable by death." You know who you are.
Run me a quick investigation check.
Oh.
Coinflow's not really known for looting. The merchant guard typically keep on top of most things, though. There may be a slight chance that...
I mean, it's also never burned down before in recent memory.
Exactly. So there is a chance someone may squat. But there's not...
And she's not... Yeah,
on.
she's just not going to take any chances.
Excellent. So with the parchment pinned to the buckled door, a mental note or perhaps physical note of what repairs need to be done to be handed over to Arabetha later, you make your way back towards the centre of Coinflow, to where Jacqueline's store is. Here, approaching Jacqueline's store, you see a very similar scene. Jacqueline's store is currently, with it being one of the stores on the main road, is under repair at the moment. There are a few labourers with signets from the Merchant Guild in the process of putting in new timbers for her storefront, but her door's missing. Just allowing anyone to waltz straight in if they so wish.
Reza kind of approaches the door and does like a... Still standing outside, like does knock, knock, knock on the door frame.
Come in.
Hello, Jacqueline. How are you today?
Beaming from ear to ear, Jacqueline is sat behind her counter. She offers you a single nod. Good, darling, good. And you?
Nothing to complain about, really?
I have been so terribly hard at work recently.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. Dresses and outfits for this ball we've got coming up.
Oh, indeed. That's why I'm here.
Oh, good. Good. So, what can I help you with?
I would like a bolt of black silk and a length of black fur. And some odds and ends to go with them, like thread. And if you have anything stronger than thread, that would be very helpful.
Stronger than thread. I'm sure I can find something. Mask?
I've got that handled.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing what you prepare.
And she just gives her a wink.
Jacqueline takes a piece of parchment from her desk and begins to very quickly sketch a rough outline or design of the dress, along with a few notes of the materials and words you've stated. Anything else you wish to add to this at all?
No, I just want the bolt of silk and the black fur. I'm making my own costume. Oh, the
you want to
black
do it yourself?
dye.
You want to do it yourself? Oh, why didn't you say? Okay, well, that's fine. I've got most of the things upstairs if you want to go and grab it.
You don't mind?
Well, of course not. I mean, we're practically sisters now. Me and Vanya we went out on a date the other day.
Oh, yes, that's right. She finally paid up.
Jacqueline just grins and reaches into her pocket and throws you the keys to the storeroom above her store.
Reza grins, picks up the keys, and she's just gonna go shopping in the storeroom.
Absolutely. Anything you need, there are even materials that would perhaps fetch a ridiculously hefty price elsewhere in the city in Jacqueline's inventory. But at this moment in time, she doesn't seem to care.
Well, Reza is going to take full advantage of that, and I will DM you a list of what she took.
All right, perfect.
So I would say after maybe half an hour to an hour, because she is thoroughly going through everything, she comes back down with a pile of things and hands her, gives Jacqueline 10 gold and says, I think that should more than cover it. And
I mean, you didn't need to pay, but I'll not turn down free gold.
well,
Thank you, sweetie.
No, you're very welcome. I'll leave you to it. You know you must be very busy.
Do we know exactly when this ball is? Vanya failed to let me know. You said a couple of weeks? A week? Week and a half?
Would Reza know that? Like, with all the
Absolutely.
time
Yeah.
How far away is it?
Yeah, it's just shy of 2 weeks out by this point.
Right around 2 weeks, I think. So you've got some time to get something spectacular put together.
All right. All I know is that we're meeting, or I'm meeting you at the Folly, I think. Where exactly are we going? Where is this ball?
I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose that. And she winks at her.
Oh, come on now. After all we've been through, at least give me a hint.
All I can tell you is that we will be making an entrance, and all eyes will be upon us.
Jacqueline rolls her eyes and just offers you a dismissive wave to get the fuck out of her store.
Ta-ta, darling.
Cheerio. Enjoy your day.
And you. And she hustles off with her pouch of goodies because she's got an arts and crafts project.
Excellent. So yeah, back through Coinflow gates, back towards home, where I would probably say at this point, hours pass. Dorian, you eventually return. Garrett, having completed his production of the Bloodshot, would step back into the Shadowed Circle. Cypher, Vanya, from your shopping trip, you return. Last but not least, Reza, you too, having returned, dropped off the goods in your room, and you'll find yourself back in the Shadowed Circle. Vanya, I think this is, sort of now on you.
Are we ready?
Sure. Are you ready? You sure you know what you're doing?
I'm pretty confident, but did everybody get, what I told them to?
What are we doing?
Going to sleep, darling.
Oh, right.
It-
No, okay. So, and then Reza will reach into her bag of holding, and she pulls out a bottle of bloodshot and puts it on the counter, on the table. Yep, I'm ready. Ready to go.
Before we start unpacking all of our stuff, maybe we should do it in the room that we're gonna be in.
Maybe get some pillows as well. Let's make it
Oh, no.
fancy.
I've already had the staff take and make pallets on the floor because I thought the beds were just too high. So they moved all of them out, and we now have blankets and pillows. You'll see whenever you go into the room. It'll be where I can sit down in the center.
You made a blanket for in the Undercroft.
Basically, but you'll be comfortable. Maybe.
Very well. I just need the items I need for this thing, right?
Yes. So everybody, don't pull your items out yet. When we get there, I want you to kind of like a show and tell. Just
Hang
kind
on a
of
minute.
tell me what your item is and show it to me. What? Questions? Yes.
What staff have you been inviting into our super secret private quarters?
It was just Falco.
Why didn't you just say Falco?
But he's staff, isn't he?
At this point, he's near enough a partner in the business.
Should I call him something else then?
Falco. He has a name, after all.
I've called him Falco before, but that might be why he looked at me a little differently whenever I called for him to do this. That makes sense. Yes. We're getting too caught up in names. We should head that way.
All right.
Okay. Lead on.
And she takes them to the room that Garrett had told her that she could use.
Okay. We'll go with this. Stepping out into the Undercroft towards the private rooms, the section of the Undercroft that leads to the chambers below. You head towards one of the spare storage rooms that poor Falco has cleaned out, shifted all of the shit, and moved in these pallets along with pillows. But these pillows are more... The best way to describe them would be linen sacks filled with straw.
What made you think this would be comfortable?
They're not so much blankets, but again, pieces of stitched linen, maybe something he found in the storage room of the Folly from when Asmund ran the place.
Oh, just hang on. I'll be right back. This
I
is
wasn't
not
very-
adequate to the purpose. And Reza's gonna go to her room, and she, as part of like kitting out her room, she has a chest full of soft fuzzy blankets.
Various
And
furs and bits and pieces.
Yes, for when she likes to curl up on her fake windowsill and stare out at the fake ambiance with her dead cat.
This may have been a retaliation for me calling him staff.
And within minutes, she's back with, like, you cannot even see her over the pile of luxurious blankets and pillows piled up in her arms.
Out of my bag of holding, I pull out a small blanket and pass it to her, Cypher.
Thank you.
Well, pick a palette. Anyone will do. There's no assigned palettes, except for I get the middle in the middle of the circle. That is mine. No one can be there. That's where I will be.
But before we start, I think the coroner needed to be present for this.
Didn't put a
I've got it. Don't worry, Vanya. And
He doesn't need to lie down.
But
Never
it
mind.
works. I feel if you're all in a circle,
Sure.
I just need it to be that way.
And if anyone is noticing, the blankets and pillows Reza is laying about the area are kind of like color coded to the members of the group. She's got like a delicate canary yellow for Vanya that she lays down in the center, and it's got some embroidery on the blanket and like a lovely pillow with tassels on it, also in the same color scheme. And then where Garrett is standing, she puts down like this ice blue blanket with like a white pillow with coordinating embroidery, and like a bright red and orange, like you almost think it's gonna be hot when you look at it, and like a coordinating couple of pillows for Dorian, and for herself it's a like a navy blue and white, and for Cypher it's purple, and then she has she just midnight black like fur that she drapes next to Cypher where the coroner can sit. This is the softer side of Reza that nobody sees because she hides it.
Well, this is lovely, Reza.
Yes, I know. You're welcome.
Garrett looks at the palette and is like, nah. Whispers something in Druidic. And some vines come out the ceiling, make a little hammock. He gets on with his blanket and his pillow.
Wait, can you make it lower, Garrett? I need to be able to touch you.
Oh, can I have one too?
Wait.
And then he whispers again, and 5 hammocks come down.
All right.
All at the same bloody level.
And Reza quickly adjusts all of the blankets to be on the hammocks and like kicks the pallets out of the way under the.
Okay, it's
Poor Falco.
Is everyone comfortable? And we're not starting just yet. Garrett, can you please let Elias know that when we enter this state, to protect our bodies?
Once again, Yarrow whispers in Druidic. Just the sound of wind going through the trees, boughs creaking in the wind.
There's a brief pause before the giant form of Elias, the roots begin to creak and crack in response. That of understanding.
It's done.
Thank you, Garrett. All right. Well, okay, before we begin that, no. Okay, let's start with, do you have your items that will draw you to where you would like to focus kind of your dream state? Can you pull them out?
Cypher's got to walk back in with the coroner in tow. Oh, look! Hammocks!
Yes. Yeah, we just started with pulling our items out.
What?
Bear in mind, the coroner's disguise now has dropped and he's back to his usual decrepit, lich-like self.
What are we doing here?
Did Cypher not tell you? We're gonna enter the dream world.
Ah. Dreams, memories, yes.
He points a finger towards you, Garrett.
You want something?
Yeah.
And the tone seems to lead, and you get the impression, Garrett, that he knows you want something, but whatever it was.
You fucking forgot.
You said we needed a pattern to find our way to the correct part of the Feywild.
Memory, or... Yes, I need to see something memorable so that he can plane shift to the... We're doing this now.
Yes, that's why. I mean, I didn't plan it, but that's why these hammocks are here.
And you are taking me into this dreamscape.
I guess, since you're here. Are you wanting to go?
I
Coroner
was
will
hoping
look at you,
that
Garrett.
if you experience my dreams, my memories, you'll have a clearer picture and be more accurate with our movement.
Smart, understandable, but
The finger will now point towards you, Vanya.
you are to be the one conducting this ceremony. Yes.
Yes, I am your dream guide.
I know little of the dreamscape apart from the odd discussion with the nurse, but
He'll shuffle over towards you, Vanya, and get within 3 or 4 inches of you, where he sticks a bony finger in your chest. His usual carefree, not so much carefree, but dismissive tone changes. The glazed eyes seem to burrow into you.
under no circumstance do you focus these powers on I. Do you understand? 5,000 years of memories, of dreams. Dangerous.
Yes, and that's the problem, because if you think of horrific thoughts, they could manifest. So do you think that maybe you can contain your 5,000 years of horror?
My willpower is stronger than anything you could ever dream in that head of yours. The question here is whether you have the control to weave through dreams of others. Focus not on whether I can contain what I know, but on whether you can evade the places that you should not go.
I will definitely try to not be pulled in to your nightmare. And she's gonna back up and she's gonna say, all right.
Before that happens, Vanya, just as you are about to back off, the coroner would reach out and grab the top of your head.
What are you doing?
Shh. He'll close his eyes for a moment and cast guidance on you. And that guidance will be Arcana. Any Arcana skill checks you need to make going forward will be... you get to add 1d4 to the roll. You feel this warming sensation wash over you for but a brief moment. The coroner himself and you would glow this golden shine for but a brief second. In fact, a glow that's very reminiscent of a being you saw not too long ago. But with that, you feel your will, your resolve strengthened.
Her confidence.
Confidence grows.
Well, she stands a little taller, positions her posture where it's, very, very confident looking. And she turns to the group and says, "Remember to keep your guard up, as you are not protected by me as we enter the dream world. I merely offer to be your guide, to protect you from the horrors that lurk within. That is up to you. Or just simply don't think of something horrific. And also, don't die, because I cannot bring you back."
Wait, what? Why would we die?
Well, like we explained before, sometimes if you cannot control your dreams and your desires, sometimes fear comes in and you can manifest things within your dreams. And you're actually, this is not, you're detached from your body right now whenever we go through this, and you are in the dream world. And if you die, I cannot bring you back. So, are you all ready to surrender to me?
I was, and then you gave that speech, and now I hate it.
Well, I mean, you can't simply walk this alone. I have to guide you. You have to let me weave the threads of your dreams to do this.
Okay.
All right. I got an okay. All right. So she's going to pull the bottles out. For those that need assistance in sleeping, she pulls them out and she says, "These 4 are your normal sleeping spells. This one."
Don't
The
drink
one
that one.
That one is a super strong, extra, what do you call it, Cypher? Extra strength sleeping spell.
Yeah, it's
So
a
if
coma
you-
in a bottle.
Yeah, if you feel like the regular one won't work, this one is for you.
Don't drink that one.
The Coroner, who's been keeping quiet all of this time, just taking in, looks up at you all.
So, what I am understanding is we are looking for a gateway, a way into the Fey realm, but this journey is dangerous. Hence, others being present for this, and due to those being present, there is a chance that we will be meandering into the dreams, into the memories of those here. Is that right?
Yes,
Correct.
Vanya is going to practice pinpointing the memories we need with everyone else. Then, when we're at the point where she's fully competent and ready, we will then go into mine, as my memories span back much further than the rest of my friends.
So, you wish me to be naught but an observer? In fact, it would be best if I remained an observer. The ethereal plane is well known to me, but the Fae, the dreamscape, unforeseen consequences should I interfere.
That's absolutely fine. I just need you to have first-hand knowledge of where we're going.
Understood this. This will be interesting.
A grin starts to emerge on the withered remains of the coroner as he now seems to fully understand, maybe not the process of how to get there, but at least knowing that he will be stepping into a realm that he is not familiar with.
He's going to see something new.
He's going to see something new, something different. Go on, Vanya.
Okay. Oh, so she's gonna say, "All right, well, you must lay yourselves down in a circle around me, and allow me to guide you through the labyrinth of your minds. Only then can I show you, hopefully, the truth and hope." So,
Not to derail you quickly, but Cypher cut into the moment where everyone was about to reveal what items they brought with them.
oh yes, yes. Go ahead and let's talk about the items first before you take your drinks. Cypher, would you like to start?
Sure, I have the least amount of history out of all of you, so I brought just 2 items. And he pulls out a piece of burnt, tattered parchment that has just random letters and numbers written on it. And then Garrett's writing on the top corner. That says Cypher ? And the other one is the dagger that Garrett carved for Cypher that was used to kill him in his ritual. The Blackthorn dagger. Still stained with Cypher's last remaining drops of living blood. These should
Perfect.
suffice.
Yes, I think so. Reza?
Reza grudgingly pulls out of her bag of holding what looks like a old, worn piece of fabric. But she slowly kind of unfolds it and like shakes it out, and it's a tabard with some sort of Ostoyan symbolism on it, something that only Garrett could even probably potentially recognize as the symbol of one of the Kartovan regiments that were in place when the city below emerged. It is stained, damaged, but by the neat fold lines in the fabric, you can see that it's been kept very carefully. And she just kind of holds it up and says nothing.
All right, Dorian.
Dorian reaches into his bag and pulls out a jar that was present when he hopped to his new vessel. And he shows it, and, well, there's not much for... I don't have anything tied to my past, and I think if anything does show, it would be best if it be related to this. So, this is what I've chosen.
Beautiful. You guys have picked some great things so far, Garrett.
Garrett just raises his hand with the blackthorn ring glinting in the light.
And then Vanya holds up her wrist, and it's a silken string tied around her wrist. And to her, this was a kind of a tie that would have came off of a cloak from her earlier years of her school that she attended. All right. Well, she looks at the corner. Please make sure you don't have anything on you that would draw you to your 5,000 years of horror.
The coroner looks towards you, Vanya.
As I said, you are the trailblazer, the one weaving. Stay out of my mind and all will be fine. My willpower alone is enough.
All right. Let's begin. Crack your bottles. And she waits for them to drink, and then she will begin the ritual, of which she has kind of a ritual chant that she will do.
So before that, because honestly, at this point, when I think the ritual would kind of be a good point for us to end the session on. So if there is anything anybody wishes to do before you all comatose yourself and submit to Vanya sending you all into the dreamscape, any questions or any ideas, now's kind of the time to do it. Also, before you answer that, Mr. Andy B, thank you for that follow. I appreciate it. And we've been players, crew. How long have we been doing Pariahs now?
It's been 2 years now, is it?
It's coming
Two
close.
and a half-ish?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Fine.
A while we've been at this. So yes, don't worry about asking questions. by all means, please do. We've been at this a long time. We love what we've managed to create here, and we'd be more than happy to answer. So please, if you have questions, just pop them in. If I personally can't answer them, I'm sure one of the players, or if not, there are some folks in chat.
Some madmen in chat that watched everything.
There has been some individuals in chat who have either been here from the start or have binged everything. So they don't worry. Don't be afraid to ask. But again, welcome in, and D-Mac the Axe, thank you too for the follow. It's appreciated. Welcome to our dark, grim corner of Twitch. But with that said, though, yes, this now a ritual spell on the horizon to basically rip your consciousness from your bodies and cast it into the dreamscape. For some reason, you're taking a 5,000-year-old lich with you, who's probably seen more horrors than imaginable. But Vanya, you've got this, right?
I am worried about him.
It's fine, because if Garrett doesn't come back, Elias has got instructions to remove Vanya's head from her shoulders.
Well, I'm glad you didn't tell her that, because that would make this a lot worse.
With that said, though, is there any last minute preparation? Anything? Any questions? Anything anyone wishes to ask before Vanya begins the ceremony to commit you all to the dreamscape?
No, Cypher's gonna lie there for ages and be like, it's not working.
Are we there yet?
Listen, like, you two had said that you would be able to...
Right. And tell me a story, Vanya. That always helps.
Well,
soothe me. Okay.
As I'm doing this, I'm going to have to, do the ritual chant. So, do you need to take this extra strength sleeping potion?
No, I just wanted a story to help me drift off.
Well, the story is once upon a time there was
Cypher's asleep.
Garrett does not take a potion. He just lies back, puts his head on the pillow, manifests 2 side daggers, and instantly falls asleep. Because that's how Garrett sleeps every night.
Out like
And
a
now we
light.
know. Reza kind of looks around and then takes the tabard she was holding and she kind of reclines and gets comfy in the hammock and drapes the tabard over her and fluffs a pillow behind her head, and Munchie comes out of somewhere and lays down on her chest. And then she takes a very long swig of bloodshot, or whatever we're calling this.
Court reserve bloodshot.
Court reserve bloodshot. And just puts the cork back on it, sets it by her side, and just kind of
You're going to have some nutty LSD dreams, buddy.
All right, with Reza swigging down, carry on, folks.
Dorian is going to get into one of these hammocks with one of the lesser sleeping potions and put the jar nestled in next to him and drink that and try to doze off.
All right.
So Vanya starts with, she pulls the crystal out. She has it in one hand. And while she is laying back, because she's made it where she's able to be within reach of everyone as she's doing this ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's rubbing the crystal in one hand, and as she's rubbing the temple she starts with Garrett. She starts rubbing his temple and says, "Close your eyes, let the visions flow, let the dream weave its tapestry, where hidden truths begin to grow. Let hope be your anchor, let courage be your guide, through the darkest corners where dreams reside." And then she switches over to Dorian and starts rubbing his temple. "For even in shadows, a spark can ignite, a beacon of brilliance, shining ever so bright. Feel the veil thinning, the boundaries fade." And then she switches over to Reza. "The waking world dissolves, the dreams pervade. Though nightmares may threaten and phantoms may rise, remember the power that within you lies. You are the master of your fate, the weavers of your dreams. Plant seeds of resilience." And then she switches over to Cypher. "Enter now the realm unseen. Let the dream embrace you, let the journey begin. Sleep now and dream, dream of hope, dream of strength, dream of the answers you seek. And when you awaken, may your hearts be filled with light, may your spirits soar in the morning's bright light." And then that's the end of her ritual, and they start to just kind of... They'll eventually manifest into a darkened room where it's all of them together.
As blackness begins to overtake each of you, you too, Vanya, but the last thing that you would feel is a hand on your shoulder. That of the coroner. This blackened room that you all find yourselves in, you can see very little apart from just the slight outline, form of one another. And there, just in the periphery of your vision, just almost off on a distant horizon, forms and shapes start to coalesce. As for what exactly it is, well, that we'll find out next week. Thank you very much for joining us today, everyone, for episode 23 of season 2 of Pariahs. I'm going to snooze the adverts because they've all gone. They have, Smith. They've all gone mad. Who would allow a hag into their dreams, especially a night hag? But sounds like Garrett needs something, and everyone's got his back. Any closing thoughts, folks, from that?
I'll see you next week for the nightmares.
Good night, chat.
Goodbye, chat.
Night.
Do we get
I
it?
was waiting for the last person. And see you next time on Pariahs.
Boom. With that, I'm going to head over to this. I'm going to click that. Mute you folks up. And yeah, everyone, thank you very much for joining us. A slightly shorter session today than what we normally go with. But this dream world, this dreamscape thing has been on the cards since... I mean, when did Vanya get the dream crystal? From the hag, you know, from the nurse. That was like what, 50 episodes ago? Huh? It was indeed season 1. Yeah. Sorry, Yet. I know. Yet, look, blame the players, Yeti. Blame the players. It's either this is one of those moments where I pause it now to give everyone some time for the inevitable shitstorm that's about to occur in the dream world, or it's a 6-7 hour stream. But with that though, everyone, thank you very, very much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, in regards to what we're doing, I'll have a little bit of a waffle. It's rare for me to sit and chill at the end of a session, but for Mr. Andy B, D-Mac the Axe, basically we are originally Pariahs started out as a campaign of survival. A changeling, a vampire, a traveller, a scholar from Ravo in Novostoya, and what could best be described as Pinocchio, I guess. It originally started out as a group of misfits just trying to survive in the grim world or the grim city of Novostoya in the slums. And from there, things have progressed to them owning a tavern, the tavern then expanding into a legitimate business of them fighting as a fighting pit. They've met with several movers and shakers of the city. Of course, the one tonight being one of the main ones being the coroner. The coroner is an ancient lich who ties into the city below. On top of that, there is another member called the nurse, who is a hag. Another called the botanist, a dryad who's been, from what we gather, kicked out of the Fey realm. And then last but not least, another member called the chirurgeon, who I think we're all in agreement that she is some form of last living celestial, an arc seraph perhaps. And they make up something called the Society, a secretive group of old ancient beings that they have an agenda, but they want to keep out of the limelight of the world. Add on the Crimson Court and the houses vying for dominance there. We've already scuppered the plans of one member of the court. So yeah, overall, there's been a lot of stuff happen in the 14, 15 days straight worth of playtime that we've been here in Pariahs. But yeah, with that said though, if you are in future, you can find all of this stuff on YouTube. Alternatively, if you have any questions in future, by all means, pop them in chat. I am going to turn off the cam. We're going to find someone to raid, and hopefully I will see you all next week for episode 23. With that though, ta-ta for now, and thank you for the support.